Good night, everybody. How y'all doing today? It's KCP, and I'm back. We're going to take the rundown, episode 102. First thing I want to do is I want to thank our sponsors tonight. It's Simply Safe, Lowe's Home Improvement, Geico Auto Insurance, Little Caesars Pizza, Crown Custom Cues.com, Title Boxing, and of course, Four Corners Boxing Talk. As we get set to do the rundown here, we're going to talk about what's hot and what's not in the world of boxing today. All right. Right now, everything's still centered around the big heavyweight clash between Luis Ortiz, King Kong himself, and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Is it going to happen? It's the burn in the way. That's all the talk. Well, I got some news today, guys. I got some news. Yesterday, I told y'all I talked to DeBello. I talked to DeBello a little bit today, too. You know, on a media call for Garcia and Barner. We're going to touch on some of his quotes later. Barner was on fire up there. But yesterday, DeBello told me, we found out that the Barclays Center was reserved for 2 dates, October 14th and November the 4th. Okay? And he told me that when I asked him for a comment, his comment back was this: I will be at the Barclays Center with the heavyweight champion of the world on one of those 2 dates. Okay, he wouldn't give me a yay or a nay. Well, today I talked to Luis Ortiz's manager, Jay Jimenez, and he told me that it's 95% certain this thing happens November the 4th at the Barclays Center. It's a big step up for Deontay Wilder, in all honesty, guys. It really is. I don't know if you're a fan of Wilder's or not, but this is a huge, huge step up for him. No doubt about it. And really looking forward to see how he handles this thing. And I think he's capable of winning. I think one thing that'll benefit him is Ortiz has gotten up in age a little bit, but I do think Wilder's capable of winning. The Wilder that fought Stavern, I got to touch on that in a second too, because he was the mandatory by the WBC, but and he says he's not going to allow it to happen. Well, there's some stuff going on that I don't want to really start a rumor, but there's some backroom chatter going on that Stavern wasn't available for a couple of test as part of the clean boxing program. They can come to your house, they can do whatever and test you at any time. Supposedly he wasn't available once or twice, and it's a legality in which the WBC could technically push him to the side if he don't want to accept the step aside money. Okay, I do believe this fight's going to happen November the 4th. We should have a definite answer by the middle of next week at the latest. And I've already reported it. I think I ran another article on it today at Four Corners Boxing Talk. If you don't follow us on Facebook, you can follow us at facebook.com/Four Corners Boxing Talk. You can follow us on Twitter at Four Corners Boxing. That's without the G on the end. Instagram is at Four Corners Boxing Talk, and there's no G on boxing. Okay? Today we're going to get into our normal sessions of these shows. Last night was the first one that we aired on the podcast. I see a lot of live listeners out there, and I am loving it, guys. We appreciate it. And we had a bunch of on-demand plays today. You can listen to us through Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Podomatic, Podbean. There's several different places you can hear us. Our app will be available where you'll be able to go to Google Play and iTunes and just buy the Four Corners Boxing app. It's $1.99. It ain't no big deal. I'm trying to get it where it's free, but something about where it's the first debut, some shit, I don't know. I'm a boxing guy. I'm not no damn tech guy. All right. We've touched on Wilder and Ortiz, and there's another big announcement that was really made official today, which I ran an article on this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, but Jermell Charlo and Erickson Lubin. All right. for the WBC Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. And this fight's supposed to go down September the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. And it's on the undercard of Jarrett Hurd and Austin Trout. I'm trying to figure out how they determine which one's the main event here. I know they're going to be co-features, but which one's going to actually go last? Because Charlo, I would think, is the bigger star. And we broke the Trout and Hurd fight, a month and a half ago at least. I remember I posted somewhere, one of the Facebook groups. I know which Facebook group it was. I'm going to give a shout out to my guys here in a minute. But it was in Eastwick Boxing I posted, and breaking news coming in the next few minutes. And I ended up breaking that story that night. The night after I broke the Verdejo and Flanagan story, which has been canceled now, postponed. All right, Lubin and Charlo. Let's be honest. I think this might be a little early for Lubin to be stepping up into these shoes. I really do. But what this fight did do is it solidified the month of September, didn't it? I mean, that is a huge month in boxing, man. On the 9th, we've got the Superfly card, and that's the best card I've seen since Moby Dick was a minnow. I'm not going to lie. And then you got the 16th, of course, you got the biggest fight in boxing. That's Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. Also on the 16th, you have Callum Smith and, well, I'll be damned. I can't even think of who the hell he's fighting off the top of my head now, and I just announced this yesterday. Smith is fighting, well, I damn. That's crazy. My mind's drawing a blank. Sorry, guys. It don't normally do that, but it happens from time to time. We got so much shit running through your head. And, you know, September's a big month, and you can still get tickets to everything but Golovkin and Canelo. They're sold out. All right. There's tickets still to the Ndongo and Crawford card. Man, if you're close to Lincoln, Nebraska, and they're cheap. They're cheap. They're cheaper than the tickets this weekend for Garcia and Broner, which I'm getting ready to touch on another fight that was added to that card today. But they're cheaper than those tickets. They're cheaper than the Robert Easter tickets just was up in Toledo. This is for the Crawford and Ndongo card, which is going to have Shakir Stevenson on it, Nicholas Walters, Gvozdyk. The Superfly card's even cheaper than that at $30 a ticket. It's cheap as $30 a ticket, but I think the $30 was sold out. If you want to get tickets, best thing to do is if you're on Twitter, go to KO Ticket. That's Jim Boone. KO Ticket, and this guy's, he can get you tickets, man. All right. Also ordered today, there's been some fights ordered today by the IBF. Okay. They ordered a welterweight title eliminator between Ponomarev and Ocampo. All right, now, both fighters are undefeated, but Ponomarev has arguably got the most babysitted record in boxing at 32-0 in the welterweight division, and he hasn't really faced anybody yet. Okay, he fought Brad Solomon. Solomon has a victory over Granados, I think, Adrian Granados, and he fought Claggett. Claggett has a majority decision loss to Van Herndon, which is the guy that gave McGregor the schooling and sparring about 8 months ago, 6, 7, 8 months ago, somewhere in that area. All right, they ordered an IBF title eliminator today, and the winner of that is going to be Earl Spence Jr.'s mandatory. Damn, they might dump on purpose. This is a card that Top Rank's doing. You're going to be amazed, man. It was a purse bid that Top Rank won for $30,150. That's total now. This ain't what Ponomarev's getting or Ocampo's getting. That is total $30,150 for an IBF title eliminator. So, I mean, the paydays just ain't there in boxing like they used to be, guys. I hope y'all hear me drinking and eating here and thing. I've been a little busy, and I come in late here trying to get this show on the thing. We picked up some sponsors today, man, and I was so glad. But they asked that we go. We are now running 5 nights a week, starting at 10:45. Now that time's either going to move to 10:30 or 11. One Eastern time, and 7:45 Pacific. All right? We're going to do the rundown 5 nights a week. And it's not a very long show. Normally it's going to run between 20, 30, 45 minutes tops, depending on what all's going on that day. But, Geico, you can go to them. If you hashtag, all right, we got some promos that I'll give away at the end of the night. Crown Custom Cues is like hashtag 4CBT, hashtag 4 Corners. There's several different hashtags you can use, but all of them are going to have 4 corners and the rundown. The rundown will be your main promo code for our sponsors. And guys, when you first cut the podcast, when you're ordering it on demand, when you're live, you don't really hear the commercials. But when you're on demand, you hear one start and one at the end, maybe one in the middle. It all depends on how long it is. Listen to them. That's how I get paid. But anyway, all right, we actually get paid a little more if you click on them and all that. But I really, it ain't that big a deal. They pay a certain percentage anyway. Another IBF title eliminator order today was Richard Comey, and Alejandro Luna. All right, this thing's been ordered, and this is a major mismatch. Major mismatch. I don't know why they don't just make Comey the mandatory for Robert Easter Jr. But Comey is coming off a pretty easy decision win over Heidi Salimas, if I'm not mistaken, Slimani, down there in Ghana or somewhere I think they fought. But prior to that, he had back-to-back losses, one to Robert Easter Jr. in a majority decision, I think it was, or split decision, and also one to Shabakov that happened in Moscow now. In Moscow, and he lost a split decision. So that tells you right there how close the fights was. And truth be told, Comey probably could have been given either one of them fights and wouldn't have been a big deal. All right, that was ordered today. Luna has not faced really anybody. He did fight about a 38-year-old Cristobal Cruz. If anybody's familiar with him, Cruz was at one time the IBF featherweight champion back many years ago. But he did fight a 38-year-old Cristobal Cruz, and he beat him, I think, by unanimous decision. All right. Also ordered today by the IBF was Rasheed Warren versus McJoe Arroyo at 115 pounds. Now, I'm not quite sure how they ordered a title eliminator for a guy moving down from 118 pounds. I know if you move up, you can get in one. But this moving down is kind of rare in getting in one. I'm not sure this is a good move for Warren. I'm going to be honest with you. Man, 115 is a stacked-ass division. At 118, I think he had a better chance of getting a title back at 118. That's just being honest. You got Yamanaka up there, but other than that, there ain't a whole lot. I mean, there's some good fighters, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it, man. At 115, honestly, I think he's going to lose to Arroyo. And this fight's going to be on this card right here coming up July the 29th. The Garcia and Broner card. This fight has been added to that card 2 weeks' notice. Not quite 2 weeks' notice. But at 115 pounds. And it's not part of the Showtime card, though. Neither is Gerald Washington and Gerald Miller. Neither one of them is part of the Showtime card. So we got a pretty good card there that's going to be asked. I mean, it's not going to be shown at all. They might show it on Facebook Live or something. I'm probably waiting on that. Maybe even Twitter. I think Showtime did a Twitter Live before. And we also got an order today for Tevin Farmer and Francisco Fonseca. Farmer's coming off 18 wins in a row, including over Redkit. I don't see this fight being close, really, even though Fonseca's undefeated. But I don't think he's ever fought outside of his home country, to be honest with you. I think that might be the last of the ordered fights that come out today by IBF. All these are IBF orders they give, and the winner of Farmer and Fonseca is going to be the mandatory for Tank. We still haven't got any news on who's Tank's fighting the 26th of August. I know a lot of people ran with the Salido thing. Well, the fact is that wasn't going to happen. I was pretty sure it wasn't going to happen at all. I think Salido is going to get announced with Linares before long. That's what it's looking like. We'll see. We'll see. I'll know, when I know, y'all know. That's just how it is. Okay? Last night,